I'm going to study arms for 5 days to learn as much as possible. I don't want my arms to look like this anymore, so I'll focus on anatomy and perspective to truly understand arms. And if my arms don't improve at all, well, I've just wasted a bunch of time that I'll never get back. And I'll still be stuck with these horrendous things. So, let's get to it. First, I need to learn what's really going on inside the arm. I didn't want to blankly stare at images or read medical documents, so I started my research with the glorious land of YouTube. After my super important research, I got to work. We're gonna draw the front arm, the front of the arm, the side of the arm, the back of the arm, and the inside. And the best way to start this out, just learning the anatomy, is to just draw ourselves some bone structure. There we go. So there's from the front, and then we're gonna do the side. And there it is, day 1. And I just want to say this, I'll be sharing tips throughout the video, and at the end I'll show what I learned, so make sure to watch all the way through. With that out of the way, onwards to beautiful arms. In order to learn anything, you have to practice. Alright, so day 2, now that we've drawn the diagram to really understand the basic anatomy of arms, we're just going to practice a little bit. We're going to first start with some pretty muscular arms to get the anatomy down and really understand it. Oh my god, my mic isn't all the way up. Okay. While I fix my microphone like a little dummy, I just want to say that was a really good tip. It's really good to practice muscular arms first, because then you know where all the muscles are and how all the muscles work, and then you can move on to less defined arms because you know what's going on underneath the skin. And then we're going to move on to drawing arms that are more average. And one thing I'm going to do is just draw, I'm going to go in and draw the bones, because I like the, now that I've learned the anatomy, I like to use that as a reference. I just want to put a little disclaimer here. Not all the arms I'm drawing in day 2 are completely anatomically correct. The one I'm drawing right now is pretty good, but most of them are a little bit iffy, and that's because this is practice. They're supposed to be a bit weird. That's why I'm practicing in the first place. We got our practice in, and day 2 is over. Now, that can only mean one thing. Today was probably the hardest. It's one thing to be able to draw arms, but to draw them from other angles, that's a whole different story. This is probably going to be the hardest part, because I'm going to be taking my arms and I'm going to be trying to foreshorten them. Beautiful. Here, let's try a less extreme pose. You can barely tell it's an arm. And his head is like right here. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool. I might keep it like that. But that is a very flared push position. You might be like slamming a table or like a push-up position, because that's a very wide push-up. Here, I might grab some references because I'm not feeling very creative with poses today. So I'm gonna do that real quick. This one was kind of weird. I'm gonna like try and do foreshortening like sections, you know what I mean? Like here, let's do the upper arm. I know doing this kind of like slice kind of style might not be anatomically correct, but I'm just doing this for the sake of like learning the form. And I'll try like this coil method. I don't really know what it's called. It might be called the coil method, but it's a foreshortening method, obviously, where you just kind of draw a coil and try and make out the form. I always forget the problem that I have with like the foreshortening is that, well, at least with the forearm, is that I need to make it more oval shaped the closer it gets to the wrist. This just looks so weird, but when you, like, if I do this, you'll realize it's like the upper arm. You see what I'm saying? Like here, cut it off and like make it look like just a slice of an arm. So something cool about the drawing I'm doing right now is I actually used a picture of my own arm as a reference, and that's actually a really good tip. You can use yourself as a reference because, I mean, you can do whatever pose you want, so why not? So something that's really it's kind of funny that I noticed while looking at all this. Who does push-ups like this? Who does push-ups with their elbows flared all the way out? Like, here, if we zoom in, you're gonna be looking like this. Hold on. Like a freaking spider. So you look like this doing push-ups. I don't know why I find that so funny. That's so this is the front view of this. This is the front view of this. He's just like some stupid guy doing push-ups. I mean, at least I got the anatomy mostly right. I don't know. I'm no expert. Also, looking back, I noticed that this is kind of goofy looking. That's not how that works. What does it look like when you do? Oh my god, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. So looking at my own arm, this is mostly like a straight line right here. This is a little bit funky, and that still looks goofy. I don't really know. Forearms are kind of difficult. It's kind of squarish right here. Oh my god, my tablet disconnected. Here, let's draw one more arm for day 3. You know what I haven't done? I haven't done an arm foreshortened away from the camera. They're all getting closer, but I haven't done anything away. Ooh, that's a cool pose, kind of. This looks good, but I feel like when I erase the guidelines, it's gonna look like crap. That's what happens every time. The radius is radiating, radiusing, whatever you call it when a radius is. I'm so dumb. So if I know what I'm talking about, there should be a muscle. So if I erase this and it looks like crap, I don't know what I'm talking about. See, I know what I'm talking about. Look at that. So in that case, oh, that isn't sparkles. Now that's a really weird angle, I know. Cool sword or something. He's like, or a dagger. Yeah. He's holding a dagger like that, or he's like pushing himself out into the open from a doorway, looking at it from this angle. I've educated myself so well. Indeed I have. And now it's time to use some of our new knowledge for yeah, I didn't think this was going to be a hands video either, but here we are. Nope. There we go. Yay! What a god-awful hand. It looks fine. It looks fine. We're just gonna add this. Yay! Okay, so I found 2 really cool references I'm gonna use. Wow. Fire hand pose. What? Oh! That makes so much more sense now. Now for the part that's gonna make it look like absolute booty. It looks really weird, but I know it's right. You know. Oh jeez. is. It's the thumb. It's the thumb that's ruining it right now. Boom! And now we have this one. Ugh. Hey, look at that. We have hands. Now it's time to attach arms to them. I'm just gonna erase like all of these hand sketches so it's not as messy. Wait, messy? Yeah, that is some very extreme foreshortening. I don't know. It just looks weird. I don't know. I always end up doing the sparkles on accident. One thing I think I keep forgetting is the fact that I just make them like two even cylinders, like a robot arm right here, but in reality, the upper arm is bigger than the forearm, naturally. So you would want to make the perspective would be a bit off. So this would be, the upper arm is larger, so it wouldn't be like this, it'd be more like this. You see what I'm saying? Awesome. Alright, yeah, day 4 complete. We're almost done. It's time for the final piece. For the final day, I decided to make a fully rendered piece of 3 arms using my new skills. Hope you liked my little montage there. Anyways, with that, I conclude my 5-day-long study of arms. And now it's time to show you, or at least cover, what I learned. Study simple diagrams of arm anatomy. Draw the bone structure in. It helps. When the hand flips over, the radius moves with it, which changes how the arm looks. Learn where the muscles attach. This is how you know what the arm looks like from different positions. Draw the arm from different angles. Draw muscular arms, then draw skinny arms, because muscular arms help you understand the anatomy. Use bones. Like I said before, use bones. They're useful. Use shapes to put arms into perspective. Use shapes like boxes and cylinders to map out the basic shapes of the arm. And use references. Please, use references. They're really helpful. You can use the coil method if you want to. I didn't like it that much, but you can use it. Use yourself as a reference. You can just take a picture of your arm, and boom, you have a reference. Put it in any pose you want. You're done. Take the size of objects into consideration when foreshortening. What I mean by this is don't make everything the same size. If your arm is getting further away from the camera, the upper arm is bigger than the forearm. So it would not make sense to make them 2 cylinders that are the same size in perspective. Keep that in mind. I hope some of your goldfish attention span brains picked up any of that information, and I hope you learned something, as did I. And with that, I leave. See you in a couple weeks.